Hello and welcome to the Scholars of the Nine Lore Podcasts. We are your hosts, I Psychonaut and Bony Mantella.
Hello.
We are members of the PC Legion of the Forsaken Brotherhood, known as the Brotherhood of the Nine. We are here to delve deep into the lore books of your favorite characters, weapons, and storylines from the past, present, and future. This week, we're going to do a little bit of kind of piggybacking on last week. Um, One of the things that we had brought up last week was, the stasis subclasses and what future ones might look like. Are you there, friend Boney?
Yes, I'm just listening to you.
Oh no, I was leaving that open for you to maybe chime in if you felt so
Oh
inclined.
yeah. You're doing good so far.
No worries, man. As it stands, we want to start off by going over our lore of the week, which is going to focus on this week the Necrotic Grips, one of the new exotic warlock items coming out of Beyond Light. A personal one that I have yet to get but can't wait to get, but also how it kind of plays together with some of the already existing items we have to kind of lead into what might actually be happening. So a lot of this kind of conversation is going to center around a video by Evan F. If those of you, I was not aware he was as popular a community poster, but he's pretty well established.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I recommend watching his videos for those of you that don't.
Yeah, this one is called Why Poison Will Be Next for Destiny. Honestly, I agree with the idea. I disagree with the word poison. One of my friends dropped a really good word for it earlier today while we were raiding Deepstone Crypt. They called it blight. It has that just like single syllable to the point, just
Hmm.
like arc, void. It's like boom. This is it.
Yeah, gets directly to the point.
And so that being said, again, let's go ahead and jump into reading our Necrotic Grip lore, and then going into there, just getting a good discussion as to what it's probably pointing us to. Let me make sure I have it open. Ooh-wee. Don't you just love it when you come prepared for something and accidentally lose it?
Yeah.
Don't. Okay, here it is. Necrotic lore entry. There it is. Love it. Okay. What's Necrotic Grip? Can I spell? All right. I'm going to go ahead and start. It's actually read as a series of logs, so I'm going to try to read it from the perspective of a person that's writing it. So, Project 2, Project Day 2. I just got my first look at Artifact H349. It's heavier than expected. More than a few people questioned if we even should study something such as a dire legacy. But if we can't understand our enemy's tools, then we leave ourselves as vulnerable to them. Project Day 5. Ran our first test of the artifacts. Let's call them necrotic properties. We used cattle. They were large enough to survive the initial discharge. The results have been upsetting. No more animal testing. Project Day 30. Spectral analysis is back, and it's got nothing. The artifact doesn't operate like traditional hive tech, which is our closest analog. A cult of deranged fanatics can mass produce knockoffs, but we can't even tell you what it's made from. Project Day 31. We had an accidental discharge. Caro, lab tech over from 4B. Human, so this is going to be it for him. We've got someone staying with him as the corruption spreads. At the very least, there's so much more to study. Now, even as we watch his unfortunate deterioration, he's been babbling since his central nervous system got hit, saying, I'm reborn, or variations. I think I think he almost sounds happy. Project Day 39. The Vanguard forbade a postmortem, but a few of us couldn't stomach the idea of Caro's sacrifice being in vain. The results have been insightful. Off the record, I kept a few of his samples. It almost feels like I'm having him around again. Project Day 41. We began the day with another moment of silence for our lost colleague. Too bad he's not around to appreciate it. Project Day 45. We kept thinking about H349 as a destroyer, but it's more sophisticated than that. I mean, with a normal gun, it's just boom, done. H349, on the other hand, is deadly, not destructive. Much like a viper, its bite doesn't bring about instant death. Instead, its venom cajoles. It co opts your beating heart into a death clock, ticking down your last moments. Your own pulse kills you. Death may be slow and agonizing for its victim, but for the viper, time is an amenable trade for efficiency. Project Day 51. Yanev has been crying a lot lately. We must accept that tragedies happen. It's a hard lesson to learn. Project Day 65. Another accidental discharge today. We realized that yours little creation is hungry, so we fed it more. It certainly performs in exchange. The activity is intriguing after it feasts. I've been able to follow Yanev's degradation with a more analytical mind than when we lost Karo. I have to say, the process is so elegant. The science involved almost seems poetic. It may be reproducible. Just imagine how much more I could have learned if the scanners were all active at the time. Project Day 77. Another accidental discharge. This time, I ensured the scanners were running beforehand. Audio logs of the warlock and researcher Jana 14 salvaged after evacuation. That's a deep one, my friend.
Yeah. Geez, that's pretty good actually. I enjoyed that. That's the first time I've ever listened to it or heard it. But wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it goes through, and so it's like, first off, the big takeaway is that this gun, I mean, these grips were made by Dredge and Yor.
Exactly. Which is gonna hint to our next or foreshadow our next topic in the podcast.
Which I really think is going to again touch on the properties of this blight. Like if we recognize that, so we're facing against the Witch Queen, the next expansion, 100%.
Hmm.
We know
Yes.
this. Um, so we know we're going to be facing against the Hive, and we know Dredgen Yor is literally one of the biggest villains that we've ever faced. That was a guardian that went dark
Right.
and utilized Hive tech. Like that's how we get Thorn.
Hmm.
I mean, shit, that gun is probably one of the most potent banes of our lives in PvP.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I know working with Thorn in conjunction with the Necrotic Grips, it creates this environment that it really just like this high levels of synergy. I believe, if I'm correct, if you actually get a kill with Thorn and you have the grips equipped, it gets the Necrotic
It
explosion.
yes, it does.
Shh.
Crazy.
OP almost.
Almost. And one thing I wanted to say, like just a couple things, like I liked how they call them necrotic properties. So let's say blight will have like these necrotic properties, which is what you're saying, and
I agree,
I
100%. Yeah, Blight is like definitely like okay. Keep on talking. You may have had a couple of points.
oh no, okay. And then another thing I wanted to say, like the artifact doesn't operate like traditional hive tech, which is our closest analog. So operate like traditional hive tech. So what would be like the traditional hive tech? What do you think that would be? And then like compare that to like these necrotic grips.
Okay, so I think kind of examples would be like how we talked about last week with like Touch of Malice, which I think
Okay.
is kind of closer to, because it used the hadium flakes that were
Yeah.
traditional, and Hive Tech is very much akin to magic.
And going back to like last week, the a lot of the theme with those hive weapons were they being alive, you
Mm,
know?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So maybe this isn't traditional because it's not living or something per se,
Ooh, I like that idea.
but we know this is hive tech. So that is pretty neat in itself. And then I thought it was interesting how that guy kept on saying "I'm reborn" or variations thereof
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
lore, and he
yeah.
almost sounded happy. So just like that made me thinking like, what if like Dredgen Yor had like got that a sense of him into like his nervous system or whatever, maybe like the corruption or whatever how they said in the he had like some type of that, you know what I'm saying?
Interesting theory. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, like that's might have like whatever it was that was in these weapons was actually got inside of him and kind of like corrupted his mind.
Right. And then like the last thing I wanted to say was like how like they brought up yours little creation is hungry, so I just wanted to reinstate that how like so this is like
Possible
kind of
living weapon kind of a thing.
right, yeah. But
Yeah,
do you have anything to add on it?
dude, I think you're absolutely on point with the idea that these necrotic grips might be another aspect of that, because correct me if I'm wrong, like from Mr. Last Wish aficionado over here, but aren't Ahamkara bones still pretty much like still kind of alive?
Uh, yeah, I think so. Uh, I'd have to like double check, but I'm pretty sure because I mean like you got those two Amankara bone heads or whatever like that you can go visit in the Dreaming City
Mm-hmm.
to get that trinket and the other thing. If fuck, I don't know, I haven't been there since like pre Beyond Light,
Yeah,
which
yeah, it's been a minute.
yeah for sure. But
Okay,
yeah,
because I was thinking about those things as well. It's like how sometimes in the Destiny universe, like just because a thing is not is inanimate doesn't mean it's not alive or have living properties or hungers in some way, shape, or
right.
form. Like we said last time, Touch of Malice, and kind of I think was essentially housing the worm Oryx's hive. I mean his worm. Like
Mhm.
so it's like that's an actual like living thing inside of a weapon. And again, these are this artifact, the grips, it hungered, it desires to do this thing. It doesn't just desire to eat, it desires to poison. So that would make sense that if Dredgen Yor was corrupted by this thing, he would want to create things that would corrupt.
Right. And like how it said it was like deadly and not destructive, like a viper.
Yeah, exactly. If it was destructive, it would just destroy that thing and be done with it. But if it's
Right.
deadly, it can infect it and maybe infect other things. Because if you think about it, once you die from the infection, you explode and you spread the infection.
Yeah.
Like that's like the effect that Necrotic Grips brings
I
to the table.
and you can like see it because like isn't it like if you like I know I remember watching this in the trailer like they punched like a bunch of thrall and like the poison spread it out through them or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, so like I could see where you're getting at.
And
Like the
so,
corruption spreads.
and so something else that was in the video that I had mentioned earlier by Evan F. was he had brought up the fact that stasis is unique in the sense that it's the only kind of physical ability subclass. Like all your other grenades, they have shields or they have like a bomb or something like that, or your bow or something, but it's never like an actual like physical thing you can interact with. You throw a stasis grenade, you create a wall. Like it's a physically interactive wall. I could imagine blight being something along the lines of a cloud, like either visibility, like if you could see like a hunter's smoke grenade where it's like all of a sudden you can't see through it anymore,
Yeah.
or but maybe he can, kind of a thing, or alternatively, poison gas too. It's like you're gonna have a space where you're gonna have to go through it, and it's gonna be poison gas, and you get ticks just by going through it.
Right. Or like maybe like a little poison trap, kind of like a landmine.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because like
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Just
No,
throwing
no,
out ideas.
yeah, no. I think that's not a bad place either. And just trying to think about like all the like supers and things like that. Like we saw the Titan Ice Fist. You could easily see maybe like a poison bubble or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like a big dome of poison, but like not that big.
Or maybe it's just like a cloak that follows the Titan around and it runs
Yeah,
like it runs
like an
behind them.
aura or some
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. And it's not like in front of them or anything like that, but it's like trails behind them. So it's like they're
Hmm.
charging kind of a thing. That'd be interesting to see. And I'm also interested to see how they choose to implement like we got the stasis weapons. So we're going to see more of those, I'm sure. Like we're going to see more darkness weapons.
Yeah, and then I'm sure when like Witch Queen comes out, and if we do have Blight as a subclass, we will have Blight weapons as well, which will be interesting. You know, maybe they will bring back like some of those guns we talked about last week, like your Touch of Malice as a
Oh my
Blight weapon.
God,
You
that
know,
would be so cool! Oh, that would be so cool! Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be. I would literally freak the fuck out for like 5 to 10 minutes. I'd probably be like getting on Discord, telling everybody I know, "Oh my gosh, Hunter is coming back! It's gonna be a black weapon!" Ah! Freaking out.
and then I can only imagine how fun that raid is gonna be. You know,
I apologize. I accidentally unplugged my mic. I didn't hear what you had to say.
and I just said I can only imagine how fun that next raid's gonna be during for Witch Queen or whatever. You know.
Agreed. Well, I mean, this raid has been on point. I can imagine that there's
Hmm.
a lot to take away from what they've learned in the past couple of years. That if they're gonna do the Witch Queen right, like they all the mistakes that they may have made, which I mean, there people have their criticisms of where the gameplay is at, where some of the weapons are at. But if there's something Beyond Light has done perfectly, it's the lore. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say perfectly. They've done a really damn good job with it.
Yeah, and like with this Necrotic Grip, for example, like I never even cared about reading this lore on this because like I don't play Warlocks. I don't know why I'd want to. But
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
after you reading this, I want to hop on my Warlock right now and just like fuck some stuff up with my
Yeah,
Necrotic
with
Grips, you
Necrotic
know?
Grips, I'm gonna literally take that into Iron Banner. I'm gonna take it into control for days. Iron Banner Necrotic Grips Thorn. Heck yeah! Like give me those deeps for days. Free little mini wall hacks. If I randomly happen to hit you with ticks, that's the best
Yeah,
part about Thorn.
geez, yeah. And that's so cool how like I don't know if it was intentional or not, but like how these exotics, Thorn and Necrotic are like so cohesive together, you know?
I do think that that was actually intended. Like they did intend that, and I really like that a lot. Like I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I like the concept of the stasis grenade launcher. I hate the execution of it. I don't like that gun. I don't like
No,
using that gun.
I think like that should have been like I don't like how it just makes like one little small little
Yeah, it should make a
ice
big
chunk
boy.
to make like right, yeah, like a dome almost. Not like the extent of a zone dome, but like, you know, at least like a void or a grenade.
Smaller than a rift. It could be smaller than a rift, and I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to like hit them. It could just like shoot like in front of them or something and
Well,
freeze like
it's a grenade. It should be like a small little AoE around it.
right, that's what I'm saying. And then it
Yeah.
would be cool if you could change like you know how like when it shoots it's just like the fucking glacier grenade? What if you shoot it and it could change to like a dusk field or like a cold snap grenade? You know?
Oh, oh, bro. Like, oh my God. Holy shit. So what if your exotic weapon changed its grenade based off of your subclass grenade? Like
Yeah.
you're saying, like you could change it's like, oh, I have a different
Or
grenade.
or if we had like a an exotic weapon that would change damage to whatever subclass we were wearing, we had on, whether it be dark
Interesting.
or light.
Ooh, interesting. That would probably be something I could see once we have all three of our darkness subclasses, because obviously there's going to be three. Um,
Yes.
I think that'd be interesting to have like a just how we have like was it Polaris Lance, the one that cycles between the three,
Uh,
and then you have like the Osmosis perk that it's a kinetic weapon that switches its damage based off of your most recently thrown grenade type.
is that graviton? I don't know. I don't use pulses
No,
all that.
it's there. I don't remember the name of it, but there is a weapon that it switches if you hold reload, it switches from arc to solar to void.
Well, there's a couple like that. You got Borealis, I know.
Borealis is the one I was thinking about too.
Hard light.
Hard light. That's the one I was thinking
That's
about.
the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, and then there was also, but I'm also staying to the point, the perk Osmosis, like the one that literally, if you have a stasis grenade that you throw, I haven't, excuse me, I haven't tested this, but does it switch to stasis damage?
I haven't tested that either. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's definitely before next week. We're probably gonna have this figured out, but
Right. Yeah.
because I think I think the new raid has given me one or two weapons with osmosis.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be just like the new weapons only type of deal too. If it does work,
It'd be
you know.
interesting. But regardless, I think that's an interesting space to consider, especially since, you know, stasis weapons are so rare. If you can get a weapon with osmosis to become stasis, that'd be very, very interesting to see how that works. Probably not. That might be a pipe dream. That might be a pipe dream, but it'd be interesting to see how that works, regardless. But
uh.
as it stands, I think that's a good place for us to go ahead and ship things back over to our friends at the Forsaken Brotherhood podcast main show. Is there anything else you want to touch on the subject of blight, necrotic grips, or thorn, or anything along those lines?
Um. Nah. I mean, Thorn. Made by Dredge and Yor or whatever. I I don't really got much to add. I mean, darkness, yay, hive. I don't know.
As it
I think
stands,
we got everything pretty good on point.
yeah,
We
we
really
hit
hit
all
the
the
nail
good.
on the head.
Exactly. I mean, if we're gonna get Dark Guardians, obviously Dredge and Yor is obviously one of the first. So his weapons and his legacy are gonna inform what that's gonna look like.
You know, what if like how we made that pack or whatever to either like be loyal to the Drifter or to the Vanguard?
Oh
What if we have to do
yeah.
that to like Dredge and Yor or like Zavala? You know, and let's say like the Veil or like fucking the Hive Magic somehow bring Cade Six back, and he's like like a Vanguard per se for like the darkness. So then you got like Zavala, Ikora on one side, and then on the other side you got the Cade Six darkness or whatever maybe with Dredge and Yor. I don't know. I'm just saying all hypothetical.
Okay, so
I just think that'd
this
be
is the
cool.
way I see it rolling out. This is the way I see the lore rolling out. So we've had um characters in the trailer that I think are gonna be our Dark Vanguard, as it were. Our Darkness Vanguard. So we have on the light side Zavala, Ikora, and we've lost our friend Cade Six, R.I.P. Replacing him is the Crow. And then
Interesting.
from there, we have our Darkness Vanguard. For Titans, we have our good old Gambito Bandito friend, the Drifter. For Warlocks, we have our three-eyed Green Maiden, Eris Morn. A three-eyed green Moon Maiden. I like to call her Moon Maiden.
Moon Maiden. All right.
Yeah, Eris Morn. And then for Hunters, we have our stasis friend, Elsie Bray, the stranger.
Uh huh.
Because she's mastered stasis, Eris Morn will master blight,
The
and
blights
then
for sure.
and I'm sure the last one's going to be some kind of taken thing that the drifter's going to master.
Right. And maybe we'll get Marasov back by then.
Maybe. Maybe because she's been in the her ascendant realm for a minute, and that has something to do with the taken power anyway.
Yeah,
So maybe she helps us unlock that shit. Ooh, interesting.
maybe.
Oh, well, that's a good perspective on where the future might take us, my friend. I think that's a nice little way to leave it.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, until next time, my friends, be safe, stay healthy.
for sure. All you guys.